Hi, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk. Today we're speaking with Marie Jacobson of Marine Credit Union. She's the community lead, and we're going to chat with her about her background, what she does in the community with the credit union, and how it impacts her community. It's nice to see you.
Hi, it's nice to see you too.
Thank you. Okay, so let's just dive right into it. Can you tell us about your background and what led you to Marine Credit Union?
Yeah. So, a little bit about my personal background is I've actually moved 23 times. So, on a personal level, I've had quite a bit of experience kind of seeing different parts of the country, getting to know different dynamics of different cities and states. Professionally, though, I do come from an interesting background there as well. I was in real estate for a while, and then I was in lending. So I did a lot of personal lending for anything from vehicles to debt consolidations, to the recreational fun stuff like RVs and campers. Um,
Oh.
so taking a little bit of my background and my of personal and professional, I was able to blend it together for the perfect combination of where I'm at now, which is a community lead for Marine Credit Union.
Wonderful. And so, community lead, can you explain a little more about that and then how your credit union engages with the local community?
A community lead can be definitely different in definition. You know, if you look it up by the book, it might say one thing, but for me, what being a community lead mean is really being the leader of what the community is all about and what it needs. So whether it's a nonprofit who's asking for volunteer support, whether it's a school needing us to come in and do some financial education, or it's an internal staff member saying, hey, I'm really passionate about crafts. I'd like to have a craft sale to help raise money for your guys' foundation. Marie, how can you help me tie that all in? So being the community lead has really been just taking charge in those asks from staff, from the community, even our members, and making sure that we can plug in ourselves as a valuable resource. So it's quite fun. I can't say any day has been the same.
Wow, it actually sounds quite exciting just because there's so much to it and many different things. So, tell me what has been something that brings excitement to you?
Having those touch base stories with members in a one-on-one way where I know I was a part of a that step they needed in life, right? And it can be something really small. So here's something that really excites me. I speak to somebody who's a member now, but when I first met them, they were homeless, had no
Mm.
idea what to do. Sometimes just being that friendly face, hey, we can help you open a checking account, a savings account. By the way, while we're at it, we know you're staying at this homeless shelter. We'd love to get involved and help them too, just so you've got the support you need and they're feeling supported. And then when they call you in 8 months and say, Maria, I have a paycheck. I have a paycheck now. How do I work finances now? So those are the things that excite me where I have a hand raised, I find a community partner that's looking for some support and I can kind of help further their journey. It's one of the most fulfilling things. It doesn't have to be a big grand thing. It's those little
Mhm.
things for me.
I mean, I think that sounds amazing that you're able to have impact on people's lives like that. Can you tell me a little bit about Marine Credit Union? Like, what is the kind of mantra of the credit union? How does it interact with the community? And how did it become so active and critical within the community?
One of the fun things about Marine Credit Union that we've really focused on is being a part of our community, whether it's big or small. And the reason I say that is for the longest time, we felt like we were the best story that had never been told because we were just doing things because it was the right thing to do. We didn't need to be on a giant stage. We didn't need to have a check written for a banner only. We were just showing up. We were showing up helping load food into cars at Feed My People Food Bank. We were showing up just today. I was at the university helping high school students compete for scholarship money. And so that's one of my favorite things about Marine Credit Union is the way they have shown up has been really side by side with the community in their asks, and being able to support at the ground level. Another thing we've really done that's an amazing thing is we actually have our own foundation. So it's an employee matched foundation, and we also encourage if anybody externally wants to donate funds to that, they absolutely can. But we do use those funds primarily for financial education and also housing instabilities. And we actually give a lot of our employees the right to choose where those funds go. So that's another really cool thing we do.
Wow, it sounds amazing. I really feel like more communities could benefit from this sort of model that Marine Credit Union has undertaken. So, to that point, like, what advice would you give to other credit unions looking to adopt a community-based approach to financial empowerment?
There's a few things here, but it's really simple. Just start. Don't be afraid that you have to start a new wheel. You don't have to. There's a lot of things going on in your community with nonprofits that they're asking for support. So you can just start by supporting volunteers. Marine Credit Union actually pays their staff to go volunteer at events. So we definitely encourage that. The other thing, listen. Just listen to what people are telling you. You'd be amazed at what you hear if you just, listen to just take it in, right? Don't listen to respond, just listen to listen. So
Mm.
definitely just getting involved. Don't be afraid.
I think that's so wonderful. And I'm wondering, since we're a financial wellness platform, I'm wondering, what role does financial education play in your credit union's approach to financial empowerment?
Financial education is easily, in my opinion, the jet fuel behind what I do. Without financial education, there's a lot of steps that can get missed in a downward way, right? So we
Mm.
might, if we're not catching the little things that we're seeing in a checking accounts activity, and we're not talking to them about, hey, we're seeing this. We've got, to date, we have 51 financial certified coaches on staff. Let's get you in contact with them. Let's see what's going on before it becomes a life barrier and you're really stuck in a predicament. It is not one size fits all, right? So you can have somebody who is right out of high school who's learning life, and you can have somebody who's retiring or in a life-changing stage right in the middle that needs help. So it's something that you can never say, I graduated from that and I learned it, right? It's
Right.
always evolving in your stages of life. So it's one of my favorite things about what I do is being able to catch those people in those moments, and also just kind of break down barriers of admitting you need it.
Right. And, since you're talking about different stages of life and having things accessible to different populations that you serve, I'm wondering what steps your credit union takes to ensure services are accessible to underserved people in your community.
One of the really amazing things that we do that I'm quite proud of, I wish I could just like put it on the back of my shirt so people would see it everywhere I go, is we will accept you into checking and savings accounts when you don't have a super amazing credit score. We're able to see past those things and actually get you access to a secured account where it's at least protected. You've got us kind of helping you if you want the coaching. So
Mhm.
that's a really nice piece, because some people, they start at one institution and everything was fine when they started because their credit score was great. But as soon as that slides and things were missed, suddenly they're finding themselves in a need of a place who can look past that and see more of the life circumstances of what was going on. So being able to do that with us, we're very character based. We're not
Mhm.
just the numbers based. That's been huge. Another amazing thing we do is we have created a system for people who don't have stable housing. So if you are living in a homeless shelter, if
Mhm.
you're just homeless and you have a PO box, or you have somebody at the shelter who can write a letter saying, "Hey, this person stays here. This person uses us right now as their facility." We can actually work with that and help still get you an account. So that's one of my favorite things about us is we can really take you in right off the street and help you. One of the biggest barriers, no matter how successful you are or how much you may be in a spot, it's the stigma. It's a huge one. People immediately get caught up in their image or in not wanting to admit that they're at a certain age, so they should know certain things. So that is a huge barrier. That's actually one of the biggest things that I try to knock down every day as far as a wall barrier is concerned, is
Mhm.
making the public understand that at any point you can raise your hand. And nowadays, with the way we've become more accepting to talk about these things, it
Mhm.
really is meant to feel empowering, and it's not meant to feel like you did something wrong. So that would be, I would say, no matter who you are, the biggest barrier.
Yeah. Do you encounter many people who are unbanked in your community and then try to, teach them why it's important to belong to a credit union?
It's funny you mentioned that, because I recently was doing some advocacy and we were talking about payday lenders. And it
Mm.
opened up kind of this can of worms of the statistics on the unbanked population. It's truly impressive the amount of people who will just use a digital platform only to house their banking. And again, I think it's just because it's one, it's just easy to access. But two, they again, they're not wanting to come in and have those conversations, or they admit they don't know anything. So they might just try at a couple at a couple digital only platforms.
Hmm.
Um, and then unfortunately, they are getting themselves caught up in that payday lender. I was talking about how payday lending is affecting a lot of members or people who are underbanked, because they're not educated on how high interest rates are going to be for that loan. And when I was speaking with this gentleman in my advocacy, he said, well, my county only has one physical location for payday lending. It's not a problem in my county. And that
Mm.
really opened my eyes, because they don't realize, even people who are in positions for certain levels of change, that it's digital now. It's not about going to a building anymore. It's so at the fingertips, where you can just cut out that need of a human interaction.
Hmm.
So I would definitely say the amount of people who are not banked properly, is staggering.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you, since it's 2025, what would you say is the number one thing that you think credit union members should look into for 2025? Like, what sort of a commitment or goal are you seeing that you think that people should strive for this year?
Buying cars, buying a house, it's all
Mm.
expensive. And if you're not watching what you're doing on your daily habits with those instant gratifications, you're going to find yourself buying those more expensive items with no good plan on how to live inside of a certain spending plan for the month once
Mhm.
you are taking on a mortgage, taking on a vehicle loan. So that's definitely what I'm seeing a lot of right now, whether it be
Mhm.
a small personal loan just for whatever reasons, or just maxing out the credit cards because they want to keep going out to eat, or they want to keep buying the nice things. It's something I wish I could encourage people to say, hey, sit with yourself in 5 years from now and think about what you'd want to see.
Yeah, think about your future self, right?
Yeah,
Forget about yourself at the moment.
right.
Let's work on the future self.
Absolutely. And I use myself as an example. When
Uh-huh.
I wanted to get into home ownership, I spent 2 years paying double the rent. One rent check was my real rent check. The other one was to a savings account. So that way, when I knew I was taking a mortgage on, I already knew the payment. I already knew I can afford this because I've been doing this. And I
Right.
had my down payment money. So I use me as an example all day long on that.
We're so glad to have you as a coffee platform member. Can you talk a little bit about what tools and things that you like about coffee, and then maybe some of the tools and other things that your members have commented on, or what their favorite things are to access on the financial wellness portal?
It's funny you're asking that question, because I'm here on this podcast with you. And honestly, that's my answer. I actually do watch all of these podcasts. And the last one you guys just recently had about the child free wealth, that's my
Mhm.
category. So to hear something like that really resonated at home with me. And I found it to be a topic that I don't hear much about. So for me, I look forward to these. So this is kind of, I'm having a fan moment where I'm actually on this. But
Yay.
the games are another thing that we're able to tell parents. This is a really trusted source for your children. We have a lot of parents that their kids may be going to school and getting it from a teacher, or possibly junior achievement comes in, or they're doing, or they're not, and they're coming home having questions. So the coffee games are a really fun and unique tool that the kids are good at. I'm not good at games, but the kids, they're really they're really good at it, and the parents always thank us for it because it's very interactive and they can get involved too.
Oh, it's so great to hear. And, since we're talking about this a little bit, I just want to sort of plug the new coffee courses have recently been revamped.
Okay.
So they have new content and new videos on the new courses as well. So
I
that's
love
just a little plug for the coffee courses there. So hopefully you'll be able to check those out, as well as, everyone else, everyone who uses the coffee portal.
I
So
can't wait.
tell us, if people are interested in going to Marine Credit Union website, can you tell us how they can get there, and like the different things they can find, so they can maybe replicate the wonderful work that you're doing?
We actually just launched a new website, so it sounds like we're both kind of doing some new fun things. So just February, we went live with our new website. So it's just as simple as marinecu.com. That's where you're going to find the home base to our website. But if you want to dig a little bit deeper into what I do with my department and all the community initiatives we've been doing, once you go in there, go ahead and go into the community impact page. And that's where you're going to see all kinds of really fascinating things that we've been doing. And if you wanted to follow up with myself and you had questions on things you wanted to explore, you can hit that and schedule a time to talk with me right there on that page.
Now, I always like to ask people if you could have dinner with 3 other people, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Mm-hmm. So there's one person that comes to mind very loudly. And fortunately for me, I got to see some of her clothing recently on my birthday, but she has passed away, and that is Princess Diana. I would love to go to a dinner with her and get to know where her head was at, because if there's anybody that I look at as a sign of you can help, it is not beneath you. It is not anything that you are too good for. You can help. You can roll up your sleeves. You can find a way to help. And you can kind of be a little bit of the I don't want to say rule breaker, but the way she just was able to say, no, I'm going to use my bare hands and I'm going to help, and I'm going to use the shock factor to create more attention behind this. So it would be her, hands down.
That's amazing. And it's so cool that you got to see her gown collection this year. That's great.
Stunning, absolutely stunning collection.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking on our Coffee Talk podcast. I appreciate it so much. And I really just want to say that I admire your work and your advocacy, because financial education is so key for people to have success, and not success, only financial success, but peace of mind, better family life, better self-esteem. Once you can handle your money and your finances, a lot of other things sort of like fall into place. And I think like together with places like Marine Credit Union and your work, we can break the stigma and kind of get people on the right track. So thank you so much for all the amazing work you do.
And thank you guys for supporting some of the content that we have on right into our app. When members log in, we're able to tell them, hey, go find the games, go find the podcast, the articles, anything to help. So thank you.
You're welcome. All right, great speaking with you, Marie.
Absolutely. Thanks.